What's going on? Run VPR here with an account showcase video. Want to dive into my commanders, my marches, my speed ups, my resources, everything that's going to matter when it comes to wartime. So without further ado, let me give a quick introduction to not only myself, but also the kingdom I'm a part of. So my name is Run VPR. I am a kingdom member as well as council member and migration leader here at 2607. Now, tiny amount of backstory about 2607. You might recognize this, we were in the KVK fighting against 1093 and 2605, 1960. We actually made our way into Kingsland.
Some things are about the same, but one thing that's a little bit different here is that the G4s are now in Kingsland. They have a Kingsland pass. So 93 is now facing the pressure of G4 war camps, while at the same time having to deal with 960.
But, after that KVK, we had a lot of people leave. Then the KVK after that, we went into it as a high C seed and actually had a couple people leave in the middle of that KVK as well, unfortunately. It really wasn't looking good, but, we performed our butts off that KVK, and this off season, we had a monster recruitment. It was no downtime on the recruitment team. We ended up bringing in over 31 migrants, which is awesome. So that brought us all the way from like a mid C seed up to a low A seed now, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. And with all these new migrants, I'm really excited to see if that's gonna solve the only problem I could really see us having. We have a huge council team to divide work and prevent burnout. We have the great rallies in the garrisons, and I think we just got the field we need. So really excited to get into this KVK and see what we're able to do. Speaking of KVK, matchmaking ends in pretty much one day, so we'll be able to see who we're actually going to be playing with really soon here. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at my general stats. You can see I'm sitting here at 63.5 million power, nothing crazy. Kill points are at 1.45 billion, which for my account age I think is pretty decent considering the horrendous start I had to my account. Comment down below if that's something you'd be interested in hearing about. I should have restarted like 5 different times, but I didn't. I stuck through, and here we are now. I think my account is getting to a decent spot. So that's my power, that's my kill points. Last KVK we had 30 million kills, 1.4 million deads, and a little under 18 million heals. So definitely not bad. Here we're sitting at 8.3 million deads. Not crazy, but not bad. I'm thinking that's going to end up around 9.5 million by the end of this KVK, and my goal for kill points is to get above 2 billion total, so at least 550 million KP. You'll see I'm sitting at VIP 14, but I'm so close to 15. I can 100% guarantee that I will be able to get this before fighting starts, which will be awesome for march speed, hospital capacity, healing speed, all that good stuff. Honestly, just waiting for more than gems to roll around before I go ahead and grab that. Now, before I actually want to get into the marches I have, I told you the goals. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bags so you can get an idea of what I'm working with. My resources aren't too bad. I did the calculations, and I'll put them up on screen. I forget the exact numbers right now, but I believe it was about 4 billion mixed, maybe 3 billion. Nothing crazy, but definitely a good amount to lean on if I need them. Speed ups. Speed ups is where I'm hurting, to be honest. I am gonna need to chain like crazy to really get the amount of kills that I want to. And this will be interesting to be able to look back and compare and see how many speed ups did I really use. I did a calculator not too long ago, about a week ago, and I had just about over a year, maybe 380 days or so. So it'll be interesting to look back, and I'll go ahead and do another calculation and put that up on screen as well. I know I used some, so it'll be interesting to see what I'm sitting at now going into pre-KVK. But that's what I've got. Gold heads, I'll go ahead and just show bags right now. Gold heads, I'm at 422. Let's see, expansions, I'm pretty low, so I'm probably gonna be spending a lot of alliance currency. I have about 20 million, so that should get me enough for this KVK. It is unfortunate I don't have the 100% expansions, but it should be fine. It shouldn't be too big of a deal. Let's talk about my Crystal Tech plan just for a second. I know you see, you probably noticed this also is called Run VPR 2. I use this to field some in like the first zone when Crystal Tech isn't too crazy, but after that, it's primarily a filler. So that'll probably be a lot of my zone 5 fighting will just be on this account. That way it's not just dead weight, and it's still contributing, and I usually get a ton of deads on here. So meanwhile, on this account, I'm gonna be chaining like crazy. I have about 270,000 AP, and I'm willing to spend it all. I am not a spender. Like, I don't spend money on this game, not really. I spend some, but not really. So I want to chain like crazy to, 1, get the crystals so I can get good tech, 2, get honor, but primarily, honestly, fix this speed up problem that I have. I'm going to be leaning on chaining to do that a lot. For that, I'm going to be using Cao and Hera and ZL and Richard. That is the plan for chaining. My training plan, just to give you an idea of what I'm planning on training for pre-KVK, probably in between 1 and 3 million power. Nothing too crazy. I think I have enough infantry. I'm going to train up a bunch of cav, and probably not too many archers, maybe a little bit more, but I think I'm going to focus on cavalry, to be honest with you. And we'll go ahead and dive into the marches that I have so that you can see why that is. So starting with march number 1, we've got Guan and Sippy Prime. It's a classic, and it's been working great. So my Guan is at 5.253. It's not perfect, but long story short, the opportunity cost of fixing this, or not even fixing, but finishing this to get to 5.255, which would be ideal, or 5.155 even, is really expensive, and I would be way better off using those gold heads or skill resets on someone else, because Guan is getting pushed out of the meta. He's an old commander, and investing in him right now would be really questionable at best. So let's go ahead and take a look at Guan's equipment. Right off the bat, Shio's Return, I definitely regret making these. They're not bad, but again, the opportunity cost is kind of high. The either set boots or honestly just keeping them at the purples would have been better in my opinion. But I made these early on. I made the mistake, and I'm using them. Everything else is decent. Got a lot of defensive stats here. I will say the horn, I may end up switching onto my Nevsky, and I'll talk about that when we get into the armaments, which we can go ahead and do right now. So the horn, I'm sure you know that it gives extra rage. It has a chance to give extra rage. So that is definitely great for Guan. When you put Guan and Scipio together, however, you get a lot of rage buffs. Every time they're silenced, gain rage 30% faster. Well, he has that silence, and you're going to be attacking them with the same march, guaranteed. So you're going to be getting rage 30% faster pretty much the whole time. The majority of the time, let's say 75% of the time. Also, I have Craze, which means every time you do direct damage, gain 35 rage, which you do with this commander pairing. So it's just a lot of rage. That on top of talents where you have this, have a chance to gain 100 extra rage, 9 extra rage here, 9 extra rage here. There's just a lot of rage generation. There is a possibility that I'm hitting rage cap, adding horn into here. So I might end up, I'm going to do some testing and see what ends up working better as a murder ball. I might end up moving this over to my Nevsky, and we can talk a little bit more, not too much, a little bit more once we get into that march. Otherwise, health, normal damage, and skill damage. So not great stats, but the inscriptions are pretty solid. And again, could I make this better? Yes, but do I really want to spend my transmutation stones on an infantry wedge set? No, because infantry are moving into arch. The past 2 cycles have proved that, so that doesn't sound like a great idea. We can go ahead and look at the kills. Guan is at 10.2 million kills, and my Scipio is at 21.4 million kills. Moving on to march number 2, we have Nevsky Joan. So Nevsky Joan, when you look at the equipment, you'll notice I also made a little bit of a mess up here. I should have probably made the KVK helm. However, at the time that I crafted this, the KVK helms were still way more expensive. And I did the math of the set bonus and what the difference of the defense was, and in my head it made more sense to do this. But they've since dropped the price, and yeah, if I could do it over again, I probably would have just saved and gotten KVK helmet. Nonetheless, this cavalry set is pretty decent. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good in the field. Here I'm missing, I think, 1.5% of health, plus like the iconic attribute, so not a ton there. This will be my last to upgrade. 17% defense on a purple weapon is phenomenal. That's awesome. So not too mad about that. Let's talk about my armaments here. You'll notice that I'm on arch formation, and that's definitely not ideal for Nevsky Jones, but I'll go ahead and just show you what my wedge looks like. This is what it is. It's honestly kind of pathetic. It's it's not very good inscriptions. These are like fine inscriptions, but like it's just only 2, and the stats are very like minimal. It's just not very good. Whereas you look at the arch and it's like, okay, these inscriptions are pretty good. There's also 5 inscriptions, a ton of march speed here as well. Pretty decent stats. It's kind of just a no-brainer to run arch here. And maybe in the future I'll be able to upgrade the cavalry wedge enough to be able to use it. So quickly, actually talking about my Joan, she is sitting at 5235. Again, not perfect. I mean, an expertise Joan will do better, but a 5235 is, that's plenty for the field for this cavalry march. So let's take a look at my Nevsky and my Jones kills real quick. My Nevsky is sitting at 10.7 million kills. I was using Nevsky Minamoto for a little while there. Joan is a recent commander that I've started using. Where did she go? I think my last KVK was the first time I really used her. She's sitting at 4.5 million kills. So that's pretty good, considering only 1 KVK with her. Considering that the kills are split in half between the primary and the secondary commander, that means that my Nevsky Joan last KVK got around 9 million kills. Moving on to March number 3, we have the tried and true Liu Che and Alex the Great. This march is easily my top march. It is incredible how strong this march is, and I'm so glad it brought Alex back into the meta. So taking a quick look at Liu Che's equipment, you'll notice it's a lot of purple. And honestly, the crazy thing is, this is still my best trading march, easily. And that's honestly a big reason why I put a lot of the gold stuff on Guan, is because Guan needs all the help he can get. Whereas Liu Che, I don't need to put a ton on him. Like, this is plenty good. The KVK weapon is great, the ring is great, so you can keep putting up all that damage, but you'll notice there's not a ton of defensive stats here. It's a lot of attack. Helmet included, not even crit, which I'll probably do if I get these blueprints. But honestly, kind of mid-gear, but it smacks. It really smacks. Armaments, we'll take a quick look at. Nothing too crazy. Low health, but good inscriptions. This is the only offensive one, 1% more normal damage. It's okay. And then this is every time this troop takes any type of skill damage, 10% to reduce it by 20. That's pretty good. This wielder's troop takes 2% less skill damage, and then this is 2% less normal damage. So some tanky inscriptions here to kind of make up for the loss of health. Again, I can try and get something better here. I know I have these, which are decent. Maybe I can try and reroll that, but I'm honestly probably just going to leave it as is and keep saving up my armament stuff. So let's quickly take a look at my Liu Che's kills. He's sitting at 13.5 million kills. I want to say I've been using him for about 2 KVKs, maybe 1.5. I know that last KVK was the first one he was expertise for, so yeah, actually that is correct. That was just a couple months ago. So expertise him right before Pass 5 opened, or Zone 5 opened rather. Really incredible kills for that short amount of time, to be honest with you. We can take a look at Alex. He was obviously my KVK2 commander and whatnot, so 34 million kills, 34.4 million kills. He's going to have the highest kills out of them all. And honestly, with how good Liu Che Alex is trading, I don't see that changing anytime soon. It's one amazing march. So these are my top 3. These are what I'm going to be using 100%. We're going into Siege of Orleans. These are probably going to be the only marches that I use. However, I do have an option for a 4th. Now, that 4th march is Z-Huge, and it'll probably not be Boudica, it'll probably be Mehmed, which I know is super, super slow, but I would need the extra health that Mehmed gives. Like 100% health is great because my gear is so lackluster. We can take a quick look. My gear is pretty weak, you know, and I don't think I'll be using Z-Huge unless I'm able to get a Dragon's Breath chestplate or the Milky Way. I don't think it'll be worth using it with all purple gear. I think the trades are going to be too bad, and then it's honestly like with the trades being as bad as they probably will, it's just going to be taking my resources and my speeds that I could be using on these marches to kill more of the enemy's troops. So again, it's kind of an opportunity cost. Like yes, I'm getting worse trades and it's hurting myself, but also long term, I'm going to be hurting the kingdom by doing that as well because I'm not fighting efficiently, so I'm going to burn out quicker. But you know, I have a decent amount of gold heads saved up. I showed earlier 422. So by the time KvK opens, I can definitely expertise him. It'll just be a matter of, is that something I like should do, basically. Yeah, we can take a look at his kills. Again, I don't really use him. 1,000,000. Okay, I'm surprised it's even that high, honestly. I've only ever used him, like, let's say someone's marching by my city. Like, say this guy's walking through here in KvK or something. Maybe I'll go ahead and quickly send out, like, all 4 to just kind of swarm him down really quick before. But if I'm going into a murder ball, it's not worth sending this march out. You can take a quick look at armaments. I mean, they're decent, so it's definitely a decent place to start with an archer march. I mean, these armaments are not bad at all. With a little bit of work, they can definitely get pretty strong. If you made it this far in the video, then thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a like or subscribe if you're interested in seeing some future streams of this KvK we've got coming, and we'll probably see fighting in 2 to 3 weeks. I forget the exact date, but maybe I can throw the date up on screen. I'm probably going to be streaming some KvK, including barb chaining, fights, pass openings, etc. So stay tuned if that's something you're interested in, and of course at the end of the KvK I'll do another account overview to look back and compare this one. Yeah, again, thanks for watching, stay running, and have a good one. Peace.